The red light is on. Does that mean you're rolling? Hey everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Dad. I'm Chef M, and this is Dad. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Okay, so, Dad, growing up, what was your number one rule for us if we didn't want to eat what was put in front of us?
You don't have to like it, you just have to eat it.
Great. And with that in mind, how do you feel about lamb?
Oh, no. I see where this is going. You are not going to turn that one around on me.
Oh, yeah. That's right, everybody. Today we're cooking my favorite dish, lamb.
So I'm not a big fan of lamb, and here's why. The few times I've had it, and I have had it a few times, it's always been kind of gamey. It has a kind of an aftertaste to it, and so I don't know if I just didn't have it prepared properly or what, but I'm not a big fan of lamb.
So I don't think Dad has ever had lamb that was properly cooked. If it's not seasoned correctly, it can really dry out and be pretty gamey and tough. All right, let's get started on the potatoes.
All right.
So I have here red potatoes. You could use russets or golden potatoes or fingerlings. I'm using red because they're my favorite, and this is my favorite meal, so that's what we're going to use. Mm-hmm. We are going to cut these in half, lay them flat side down, in half again, and then into 3 pieces for the smaller ones. For the bigger ones, we would cut them probably more into 4 or 5 pieces. You want even sizes across the board so that they cook evenly and come out of the oven all done at the same time. You don't have, some that are hard as a rock still and some that are nice and soft. So I'm going to finish up this one, and then you get to do the other 2.
Oh, good.
And while you do that,
Right.
there you
Transfer
go.
the knife. By the way, no running with knives.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Just I'm always the dad, right?
So we're going to start with a heavy dose of olive oil. You want to coat all of the potatoes. So I'm going to do about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Okay.
And then this is going to be your job. We have this beautiful thyme. This is from my herb garden at home. Mm-hmm. And you are going to pick it. So I start close to the top and just run my fingers down.
Oh.
And that pulls off all of those beautiful thyme blossoms.
Oh, but I'm probably a little too rough here.
Yeah, gently.
Gently.
And then I will just kind of pick off the top ones by themselves.
You've done this before.
I have. And then it's going to get a liberal seasoning of salt. More. Potatoes love salt and potatoes love pepper. A good pinch of pepper. Even a little bit more. Yeah, we don't want the whole stem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This has been State the Obvious with M. That's good.
All right, good.
Okay.
It's making me want to sneeze. I'm just here to tell you, okay?
So it has thyme, salt, pepper, and olive oil, and then you're just going to toss it. And this is all in the wrist. Go ahead, you want to try?
Yeah.
Yep. So out and in. There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can... Oh! Too much.
We'll cut that part.
No, don't cut that part. I'm excited.
We'll fix it in post. Okay. And now we're just going to put these onto our pan. Get all the thyme out of there. And lay them nice and even. This one, you do want to make sure that they're perfectly even, because if they're overlapping, then the sides that are on top of each other won't cook.
Ah, I got it.
All right, these are going to go in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. At the 10-minute mark, we're going to stop and flip them.
Sort of social distancing for potatoes.
Social distancing for potatoes.
Right. Okay, so here's the 3 reasons that you really want to avoid lamb. Number 1, Mary had a little lamb. Who knows if you're eating Mary's lamb or not, all right? Number 1. Number 2, there was a beloved puppet character when I was a kid called Lamb Chop. I mean, how could you eat a lamb chop? And number 3, ugh.
Okay, let's move on to the main attraction.
Yes.
This is a French rack of lamb, and we are going to leave a little bit of this fat cap on because fat is flavor.
Okay.
So it's going to render down, and then we'll use it with the butter to baste the lamb.
Okay.
So you start with a heavy dose of salt.
All right, that seems like a lot of salt.
Yeah, we're going to do it on the other side too.
Okay. That's a pepper.
Because remember, when you're cooking with a piece of meat, you can only season the outside. So you got to do quite a bit of seasoning.
So you'll lose a lot of it then?
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
And then we're going to do this side too. You can see this rack has a lot of nice marbling to it. Some pepper. There we go.
All right.
And then we're going to sear it. You always start fat side down. And we will lay it. And then I'm actually going to press the lamb down so that it has really good contact. And just like with our steak, we want that golden brown color.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so how long do you kind of do that?
This is going to be for about 3 minutes per side. Unlike our steak, we actually aren't cooking the whole thing in this cast iron pan. That would take way too long, and it would be way too uneven.
Okay.
So we're going to start like this, let the fat start rendering. I'm going to wash my hands,
All right.
and we'll be right back.
Good idea.
Watching Dad muscle through this is making my day. He doesn't have to like it, he just has to eat it. Okay, so now we are ready to flip it. Let me just check and make sure we got that nice caramelization. Yeah, that's starting to look really good. So we're gonna go ahead and flip it. And this is where we add in our butter and our herbs. So I'm using thyme because we use that with the potatoes. And rosemary. Both of these come from my garden, so they're super fresh.
Okay, so this time you just throw the whole thing in.
Throw the whole thing in, because we're not really worried about the twigs. We're going to pull those out before we serve this.
Okay.
The butter is melting down beautifully. I'm going to let that melt completely, and then I will baste the lamb with it. And then we just pop it in the oven, and it'll be done around the same time as the potatoes.
Butter basting, one of my favorite things.
Butter basting. Pick it up, sear it on one side. You just press down nice and firm.
Oh, I see the one end. Yeah, okay.
And then sear it on the other side.
Can you get that?
Sure. Okay. And then we're actually going to stick it on top of the herbs. And put it in the middle of the pan. And into the oven it goes.
A few moments later.
The final piece to this dinner is asparagus, which is my favorite vegetable.
And it's my favorite too.
So at least two things
Two
you're gonna like.
things I'm gonna like. Okay.
So asparagus has a really woody end to it, and it's inedible and kind of gross. So I always chop it off, and you can come up about 1.5 inches. And these are good for stock or for trash, compost.
All right, right in the compost.
And then we're gonna drizzle these with olive oil. So go ahead and do that.
All right.
These are really super simple. So we drizzle it with a little olive oil, sprinkle it with a little pepper, a little salt, and then this is my trick. After I toss these, I am going to stick them in the same cast iron pan that the lamb is in, and it's gonna cook in the same juices and flavors.
Oh, okay, great.
So I'll go ahead and do that, and then when we come back.
All right, so I guess it's that time. I have 20 rules in my life, and the first 2 rules, number 1 is this. You don't have to like it, you just have to do it. Rule number 2 is this. Make the females in your life happy. And so I guess Emma, the little chefy poo, is one of the females in my life. So here's where rule number 1 and rule number 2 come together. Here we go.
There is nothing better than creating a scenario where rule 1 and rule 2 force his hand. All right,
Hey.
everything is done. It all smells delicious. And now we just need to plate.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with the asparagus, and we're gonna kind of lay it diagonally on the plate like this. Then I'm gonna slice the lamb, and we're gonna go right in half.
Okay.
And the nice thing is these bones kind of give us a guide. Slice right through. It should be a beautiful medium rare.
Okay.
Okay. Lay that right like this. Do a little scoop of roasted potatoes. There we go. And you don't need many, 4 or 5, 100. There we go. And you are ready to eat. You ready to do this, Dad? One piece for me, one piece for you. I'm gonna get a little asparagus in mine. Oh man, smells delicious.
You do the same.
It's pretty good, right?
I have to admit, that's the best lamb I've ever had. That's excellent. That's really good.
I knew I could change your mind.
Okay.
Well-
you did. I'm impressed because I was expecting a gamey taste. Nothing like that at all. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice and flavorful. It's tender, like a
Yeah.
good fillet. I love lamb. It's the perfect elevated dinner.
Okay, I'm actually surprised at how good that lamb was. I'm not making that up. It was seriously good.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in this week, everyone, to Cooking with Dad. Make sure that you like and subscribe below and leave us a comment with some recipes you'd like to see us try. Until next time, I'm Chef M, and this is Dad. Say bye, Dad.
Well done. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't.